All right, I'll get the meeting started. Welcome to the Main Street Board of Directors, August 14th meeting of 2024, and welcome everyone to our meeting. Glad to see everyone. Meredith, roll call. We have a quorum. Excellent. All right. And in front of you, you have an agenda. And is there any additions that need to be made to this? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented. It's been and there's support. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. We also have the minutes from our July 10th meeting in your packets. Are there any additions, corrections, deletions? If none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. And there's support. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Before we get started on our finance report, I want to welcome Riley Uahas. You've seen her on Zoom, or she's been paying attention on Zoom, but I just want to let everybody know she's here and welcome. Glad to have you. Excellent. We'll move forward with the finance report. Jay.
Okay, I'll take that since Mr. Cooper is not here today. So one thing I just want to point out on this, it's the first month, and so it's always a little light for us. But if you look into page 3 of the horizontal report, go down to First Fridays, you'll see $9,000 there. Most of that's coming back off because that was for the rock wall and the inflatables and things that we had set up for August event, and we didn't get charged for those, so we didn't use them. So we issued the checks, but we didn't give them out. So now they're going to be canceled, and that'll be coming back into the budget. The other thing I want to point out up in the very top part of that, we are already $10,000 into our donations. So we've got a good start going into the year of that $75,000 ask that we've got. And then we go into balance sheet. If you go to the second page of the balance sheet, it will show you that we're out of balance by $25,000. And that is an error that we have had with BSNA software. They're aware of it and they should be fixing that for us, but that'll correct it back up. But it still gives us between that ending balance and then the one in the previous account, about $285,000 with a fund balance.
Excellent. So later on, we're going to be talking about some budget amendments. And so I just want to reference back to this as we adjust some things to make sure that we're funding what we're trying to accomplish. So we'll come back to that. Any questions for Jay on the financial report? If none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial report into the record. There's a motion, is there support? There's motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. All right, it's up to you, Jay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to remind everybody that we do have the Tiffin, Ohio DDA visiting today. They'll be here about 10 o'clock. We'll be doing a tour from 10 to 12, going to lunch at Chomp at 1. They'll be coming back here to do some meetings for their board retreat that they do. And then a little bit later this afternoon, they'll be doing some shopping in the downtown. So if you do see us around, please stop, say hi, welcome them, introduce yourself. Be happy to share stuff with them. I'm going to keep this on just so everybody remembers every month. The National Main Street will be visiting October 1st. And that really leads into the next item, Main Street self-evaluations. Please get those to me so I can take care of that and submit it to National Main Street. That has to be submitted by the end of the month, but it's not just your report, your self-evaluations that we use. I have to find artifacts to support the things that we come up with. And there's several of those that I have to pull in and do. So if I could get those by the end of this week, that would be much appreciated.
Does everybody have a copy of what that looks like? Everybody? All right, excellent. And I'm just as guilty, so I'll get it to you right away, Jay.
Thank you. The last thing I want to talk about, and we kind of referenced it during the finance report, is our fund balance. So you'll see you'll see this document in your packets. And this shows the fund balance from 2019 through 2023. We don't have the audited report yet, so I can't give you 2024. I can tell you about where we are. But you'll see in 2019, we had a fund balance of $131,000, and we've built that up. The last couple of years, it's just been increased a little bit because I like to spend money and do the things that we do in downtown. But we're still at $284,000 in a fund balance, which is more than our annual budget. So through the process with McKenna that we're doing to identify projects, we'll need to allocate some of those funds and to those projects that we have coming forward. And just know that we're trying to do that with these budget amendments coming, to make sure that we're doing the right things for the district and getting things done.
So I'll just make a mention something here. The Michigan Downtown Association let us know in their step-by-step and what we're supposed to be following, from everything from our website disclosures to everything that we're supposed to be doing as a DDA. And in that, we're supposed to be allocating or designating our fund balance, all of it. Doesn't mean spend it. It just means it needs to be allocated and designated because it's taxpayer dollars. So as we work through the budgets going forward, we're going to be saying this area, we devote that kind of those allocations to it, whether we execute it or not and spend it, whether we do or not. That's the way it'll be. When you do some revenue generation stuff too as well. So that all comes into play. So I just wanted to put that in perspective. All right.
Any questions about that? I know finance sometimes can be as clear as mud, so happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Excellent. All right, Greg.
Wow, got to me quick today. Keep you updated on our various downtown projects. Town Square, we continue to work on the repairs for the exterior walls, though that surface of that wall is ours. It's a party wall, so the exterior bricks belong to us. The interior bricks belong to 122 South Main. We found lots of things in there that we didn't expect to see after we blasted the plaster off, separating joints and wood shims and wood ledger boards and all kinds of things. So plus they saved a number of bricks to use in the wall. They saved them from 116, which apparently had a different sort of bricks than that building has. And so now they're also cutting bricks to size and all that. So nothing goes as planned, but we're continuing to work to make that the finished surface of that wall look good as a backdrop to our Town Square project there. We have a working set of renderings from Smith Group that we'll share with you soon. Also plan to have an open house on what that looks like soon as well. Good news on our TAP grant. I can't say what it exactly is. It's a conditional sort of good news that we got, but suffice it to say, we expect that project, the Winter Street project, to be moving forward in 2026. That would be 2026 construction of the redesigned streetscape and bike loop back to the Kiwanis Trail. We're in our due diligence period for the purchase of the Telegram properties. We've also applied for an environmental justice grant that we'd like to use to demolish the buildings on those properties. We'll find both of those will come to a head here, the due diligence and closing date and notification on the grant in the early fall. So more to come on that, but we're excited about cleaning up that property and ultimately creating a new downtown streetscape along there, and then finding us a developer to build some housing on that site as well. So yes, those are the things I wanted to report on. I will report on the tunnel too, for those of you who might be interested in it. It's not a downtown project, but it certainly affects the Kiwanis Trail and the connection to the east and west sides of that trail. That's looking like it's going to be, well, it is going to be 2025 work at this point. But things are still moving forward with that. We've essentially secured all the property we need at this point. We're just fighting with Frontier Cable about the gigantic amount of money that they want to relocate their lines out of the right of way, which is $450,000. So we did not find that to be a reasonable amount, certainly not in the budget. So that's the current obstacle, but trying to work through that with engagement on many levels. So those are the things I wanted to tell you about this morning. Happy to answer any questions on those things or anything else. So
Questions for Greg? Thank you, Greg.
okay.
Let's move on to board actions.
Yeah, so the first one is, it's recommendation of the executive director that the downtown Adrian Main Street DDA approve the budget amendments of $24,000 for the First Friday account for the fiscal 24-25 year. So this would be taking previous year's revenues and moving it into the First Friday account as we do more community engagement, really start to expand the breadth of the First Friday events. It costs money. And so we want to make sure that we have those available. And even things like the fireworks will come out of here, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's not covered by fundraising. It's just we have to have the expenditures available to do that. So that's why the moving, because some of those things weren't budgeted.
So it's a recommendation to try.
Yep.
All right, so there's been a recommendation to make a budget adjustment for 24,000. Can I get a motion to approve? There's a motion. Is there support?
Support.
Is there any questions, discussion? If none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Next.
Next one is for some merchandise. So it is a recommendation of the executive director, of the downtown Adrian Main Street DDA, that the board approve the budget amendments of $20,000 for supplies events account for the 24-25 fiscal year. So this would be moving previous year's revenues into the supplies events account so we can start purchasing merchandise. As you see in front of you, the cinch sacks, stuff like that, T-shirts, things that we'll be able to sell to recapture the revenue for. Some of it'll be giveaways, but we need to get our branding out there and make it more visible. The few T-shirts that I bought, we've had several requests to purchase those. So as we buy larger quantities, obviously the price gets better and we can make some money on that. So that's kind of what the goal of this is.
Any questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion for this budget adjustment or budget amendment for $20,000 for supplies. There's a motion. Is there support? There's a motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. And one more.
And this one, it's the recommendation of the executive director of the downtown Adrian Main Street DDA to approve the budget amendment for $25,000 for supplies special projects account for the 24-25 fiscal year. So if you remember, we received a $25,000 grant, a vibrancy grant for the mural project. Because it's carrying over into the year, we need to put that expenditure back into this year's budget. And it wasn't considered when we did the budget back in January, February. We thought we were going to be done with that. So this is really putting that expenditure back. It's not even though it says previous year's revenue, that money that came in from the grant went into that account at the end of the year. And so now we just need to pull it back and take care of it.
And so it's a neutral or a wash.
Yeah, it's a wash.
All right. Any other questions on that? I'll entertain a motion to amend the budget for $25,000 for supplies.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there support? Motion and support. Any further discussions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. All right. Back to the agenda. Promotions Committee.
Nope, we got one more.
Oh,
Sign
sorry.
approval.
So I sorry, didn't see the sign approval.
It's a recommendation of the sign review committee, the downtown Adrian Main Street DDA board. Recommend the approval of the sign applications for AMK Properties and Cornerstone Realty at 103 and 105 East Maumee Street. So these would be new businesses coming in where Rising Realty was and Celebration Title. AMK Properties have purchased the building there, and actually Rising is going to work for AMK Cornerstone Realty, and I think the people at Celebration Title are going to work for the title company that they own as well.
All right, any questions on that? I'll entertain a motion to approve these two signs. And their support. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. I'll take this moment right here as we do see that Jeff Rising has moved to Cornerstone Real Estate. He'll be working for them. So now he does not have an interest in the downtown. Unfortunately, he's a hard worker, but he did send me his resignation knowing that he doesn't meet those prerequisites. But he said he would stay strong in committee first Fridays and do all the hands-on work that he has done. So I want to take a moment to recognize Jeff for all of his great work, and let's give him a hand. He promised me he'd stay close to the action. All right, now I can move to the promotions committee.
We are all about Welcome Back Bash on August the 27th downtown. We got a lot of fun stuff planned. And that's kind of where our focus is right now. So
Anything more, Michael, on that?
Maybe. There we go. I just want to say it's been such a collaborative group of people working together from the different colleges, from the DDA, and I'm really excited. I think it's going to be our best one ever. We're T-minus 1 week away from orientation next week. So, and then this event's going to be a really big highlight for Welcome Week. So thanks for everybody's partnership and making this a great event.
Thank you so much, Michael. All right, thank you, Meredith.
I forgot to change July. It's supposed to be August, September.
All right, Michelle, on it does say July and August, so that's sort of wrong. So it's August, September. So Michelle?
Sure. So obviously August, we had another Michigan weather event with the rain and possible storms. I think some of those activities are being considered for October. They were really popular with the community. Everybody was really looking forward to it. So anything that we can continue to have, I think would be a great idea. September is a little bit different. We're trying something new. It's going to be a bike night, as in motorcycles downtown. So it's going to be kind of a combination of things. We're working with Phil Komar, who has the world record for the longest motorcycle ride with no hands. He actually has 5 world records, 5 or 6. But he does that to raise awareness and money for Parkinson's research through the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And if you don't know who he is, I would highly recommend Googling him. He's been doing it for a long time, I think since 2010, and he's raised a lot of money for them. So he'll be there. He'll have items and merchandise from the Fox Foundation. He'll be bringing, attention to that and raising some money for that. The LASD Motorcycle Academy will also have an instructor there, as well as one of their bikes. So people that are interested in learning to ride can kind of check that out and get some information. Tecumseh Harley Davidson will be there, as far as I know, with some bikes and apparel for sale. Michigan Biker Law will also be there. One of their attorneys will be there. They'll have some silent auction items to help raise money for Phil's cause, and just information for anybody that has legal questions. The sheriff's department might be there with one of their motorcycle units. They're looking into that, so that's still pending. There will be motorcycle games for people who are participants who are there, and also for the public to watch. I believe we're going to try and have 5 of those, and then we're also going to have 5 show categories. So it's not necessarily a bike show, but that option will be available for anyone that wants to participate in that. We're going to have kids activities, including the backpacks that you have, giveaways, temporary tattoos, I believe, with the Main Street icon that Jay got. And we're also still going to have the bubble station set up for kids as well. And then for the businesses, I believe we're working on a poker run to the businesses, and then the top 3 best hands will win gift baskets. So motorcycle riders will typically participate in poker runs. Well, they'll stop at different locations, usually to raise money for charities. So this is kind of a play on that with the businesses.
Awesome. Any questions from Michelle on that? Sounds like a lot of fun. Excellent. All right, thank you, Michelle. I don't think we had to found and gown because it's all focused right now, right, Michael?
I think so. Although I would report that our National Intern Day was a huge success. We spent the morning in Adrian, afternoon kayaking in Tecumseh, and we had, I think, 46 interns that were working here in Lenawee County. And not just from Adrian College, Siena Heights University, but other schools like University of Michigan, University of Alabama. So people that really wanted to come back and be part of Adrian. So I thought it was really exciting.
Very nice. Thank you. All right, I'll report on the organizational committee. We made a presentation to a foundation here as of recent. It was a bold request, and I am very excited as we look forward to getting a response. We've been given some slight updates, but it seems positive, so very excited. And we continue to meet with our local businesses. We have credit union in this town that's actually wanting to be a part of everything. So Jay, if you want to mention that.
Yeah, so we've been meeting with American One Credit Union. They are building a new facility where Eclipse used to be. So if you drive by there, there's no building and there's a lot of earth moving happening, which is nice. And so just yesterday, they provided $250 for the student welcome back event. They want to be involved with Halloween, and we expect them to be a leading sponsor coming in the coming years for First Friday and other things that we have going on.
All right, awesome. Economic vitality.
Did not meet, but that's really the Ready to Recruit. We'll have a presentation at the end of September with that cohort, and you'll start seeing more of those things come to life on the website and really being able to engage the potential businesses coming in.
So give the example of a one pager.
Yeah, so we have a one pager that we've developed that really tells about downtown, what our demographics are, what people want to see from our, the information from our impact report, what the drive time is, what incomes are, type of events that we have. So if you want to know what happens downtown, you got this one pager to really help. What I want to do in the future, and I'll use this as an example, we've got the bike path coming, right? We have one used bike store in the community, and that's it. We don't have a new bike store or any type of real repair facility that's open continually for that. So I want to create the same thing for a bicycle shop to say, hey, we're looking for bicycle shops, put it out there, and these are the demographics and information that you need in order to make a good decision. So that's just one example of what we can do with that.
Yeah, Jay and I reminisced because of our age that we bought our first 10 speeds at Schwinn store downtown. So it was a long time ago.
Yes.
Awesome. Farmers market.
So the farmers market is doing great this year. It's our third year and we have had exponential growth. The kids market this weekend, biggest plug. We have our second mini market. Nikki's doing a great job getting new vendors coming in addition to the number of kids that are participating. Last mini market was kind of our best attended farmers market, and we are anticipating this weekend weather bearing that we will see a rise in that as well.
If anybody is available, we could use a little help on Saturday. If you have some time and would like to help volunteer, please get with me and I can give you some details on the times and what we need you to do.
You guys landed Amy DeKaiser's bread, and it's just outstanding.
What?
Say, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Oh, summer market?
Oh.
The Sunset Market. So September 10th, we'll have a night market. So first attempt at that. So we're excited to see what happens. If you know of any vendors that might be interested from other markets, please let them know. And that should be, is it on social media already? Has it been posted? Okay. Yep.
Excellent. Candace, Nikki, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, design committee.
Design committee has not met, but mural committee, we have not met, but some news on that. Things are looking promising for the Gene Christopher a lot. We're just waiting on a report for the end of the weekend or by the end of the week for that. And the grant did get extended until May of 2025. So it'll give us time this fall to get everything taken care of and get that mural up.
All right. So doubt it's gonna make it by our list, just right? Right.
Probably not. We might have a rendering or some
Something else.
information to talk about it. Yeah.
All right, excellent. Any questions? All right. Tim,
Good morning. First off, we'd like to thank everyone that came out to Saturday's event at the Alliance Center. We estimate we had over 400 folks visit us. Both food trucks ran out of food, which is kind of nice. Gave away almost all 200 backpacks filled with school supplies to the kids because it was also a back to school event. Legacy Barber was there doing back to school haircuts. The mayor was there, Jay, and several of you. It was a very nice event. We got to show off the building and what's going on in the building. And right now our hope is to be open in May or June of next year. So it's a little bit sooner than they were thinking before. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. Next up is the Bixby Hospital. I know it's not downtown, but internal, Jay's working on that too. And so Greg, obviously. Internal demo sort of going on, and I'm waiting for the ball and hook to swing from the outside and start the exterior demo, because that will, once we get that down, that's 62 new residential units that will go in there, which is very, very nice for us. City as well as the county. And then what we're doing this weekend is we're hosting 4 site selectors. People to help us attract companies to the county, to the area. We're partnering with Enterprise Group out of Jackson. They're the economic development group out of Jackson. So we'll have 4 site selectors with us Thursday through Sunday, showing off Jackson, showing off Runaway, and then taking them to the race on Sunday. Other than that, just a lot of other normal stuff going on. But happy to answer any questions.
any questions for Tim? Exciting stuff. Thanks, Tim.
I just want to thank Joe Williams publicly for breaking the dunk tank, so I didn't have to get in it because I was next and it was
I
very
wasn't going to
cold that
say
day.
anything.
It was chilly Saturday and Joe literally broke it right before I got there. It's a win for me.
All funny. Are there any other DDA matters that you'd like to bring to our attention? Yes, go right ahead.
Okay. I had the lead organization reach out to me about DDA potentially helping or partnering with them for their Hispanic Heritage Day Month event. It's going to be the first one of its kind, and they're hosting it at the Pavilion on September 15th. They were wondering if we'd be interested in potentially like sponsoring or having a booth or participating. That way we can kind of get in front of this community that maybe we don't always reach with our First Friday events or other things that we do downtown. So just wanted to bring that to the board's attention, and Aaron's here from LEAD and might also have some extra information and some flyers for us. So yeah, that's all.
All right, that allows me to, is there any other discussion from us? Then I can move into public comment and then I can have him up and speak.
Hi, Aaron Cheshire. I am the event chair for La Fiesta de Adrian, which will be on September 15th. I have some flyers if I could hand them out. So we're looking for vendors for the event, or like community resources, things like that. It's only $25 per booth to be there for the entire 5 hours. And like Christina was saying, it seems like a lot of marketing and advertising for what the DDA does is somewhat confined to social media. If people don't follow specific pages, your reach stays hidden from a large portion of the city. A booth provides that extra distance for the residents who don't normally follow those pages or attend the average DDA activities or events. I'm not sure that I've seen a whole lot of this specific community attend First Fridays or DDA activities or events. So this would be a good branching opportunity and community building, which is what specifically LEAD's looking to do. So yeah, just let me know. I sent an email as well. So thanks. Yes, both of you. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Sheila Blair. I'm with the Armory in Launch Lenawee, and I'm here just to talk to you about some really exciting upcoming events that we have, and I have some flyers for you that I'll pass out as well. September 14th, we will be having our 100th anniversary gala at the Adrian Armory. Just want to make everybody aware, there's going to be some entertainment about the history of the Armory. So we're, going back to the 1920s, and we'll have beautiful music throughout the decades, and a beautiful singer actually singing some of the songs throughout that 100-year history. Food stations, open bar, and so forth. So please put that on your calendar, and hopefully you can attend. And I'll pass that out in a second. Secondarily, Launch Lenawee is doing some exciting things. Typically, you think of Launch Lenawee as somebody who wants to start a business. They would go through the Launch Lenawee program. We're expanding that definition of Launch Lenawee. Launch Lenawee is now the name of an entity, not necessarily the program, because we're going to be expanding the programs. So for example, October through December, the last quarter of the calendar year, we've got several trainings coming out that are really open to anyone, and really have a lot to do with business owners as they continue to, grow their business. For example, October 1st, we're doing a class on using metrics to guide your business. There's another class on business startup costs, creating your business budget, maintaining cash flow, how to read and use financial statements. A 3-part class on powerful presentations. We also have, marketing and social media, which who can't use that kind of help? Recruiting and retaining employees, which I know a lot of businesses struggle with as well. So we are expanding our definition of what Launch Lenawee does, and this is all sponsored through the Adrian and Tecumseh LDFA funds that we're currently receiving. So I just wanted to give them a plug and make sure that they got their due credit as well. Does anybody have any questions? Yes. Yep. And the flyers I have a QR code where you can order your tickets, or you can also go to our social media, and there's a link to the tickets. Any other questions? Thank you.
Yeah, Don Taylor, 475 Meadowbrook Drive.
Hold on, let me get my
Don't
timer
write
out.
that, don't write that down, okay? The police chief already knows it, okay? I'm here today representing Ardilicious. I forgot to bring the save the date cards. Just remember, 1 week after the Armory Gala, on the 21st and 22nd of September, is Ardilicious. So do the gala, come downtown the next weekend, 5 weeks from this weekend. The usual, we have about 65 great artists, a nonprofit row with all kinds of kids art going on, My Adventure Theater. 11 to 7 on Saturday, and then from 6:30 to 10:30, we have 2 groups, Flowers on the Graves and Billy Lewis and the Soulbacks performing. That should be a rocking good time. Sunday from 11 to 5. A couple of new twists this year. In 2022, Annie Howard, who's with Adrian Public Schools, what a treasure she is, suggested we put together a digital art show for K-12 students. So she put it out to all the art teachers. We had 125 submissions. We actually showed all the pictures of the artwork here in the Chambers building. Unfortunately, it was hard to get people down here. So the next year, I think last year we had about 185 or 190 submissions, just like a nice growth. This year we have 464 students who have submitted art. It's unbelievable. I started to watch the show the other day and thought I better wait till 7 o'clock, pour a scotch, and it's going to take me a while. But anyway, a great growth. There's 6 school districts performing. Obviously, Adrian took the lead on this, but we're just so happy about that. So it's so exciting to have all these young artists, and these kids do some really cool stuff, I want to tell you. And on that note, one more thing. We've been doing a lot of collaboration with the Adrian Center for the Arts. What a great institution that is. And Pi Benio from our group, and she, of course, she formed Adrian Center for the Arts too. So let's get some students actually applying to our lists through a different procedure normally. So we had students apply, and there's a mentor from the Adrian Center for the Arts who's actually working with 2 students. They will be downtown in a booth, just like everybody else, learning how to market, how to put their things together, pricing and all of that. So a great opportunity. 1 student from Adrian High School, 1 from Clinton High School, and a 3rd student. Well, we only had room for 2. Turns out a 3rd student had some incredible work, and she will be at the library starting, I guess, when we open up our list. She'll be on exhibit for a whole month. So I would tell you, art in this county is alive and well. It's really doing great. So we're so excited to have those students. I think that's about it. Is that too much or not enough? Thank you for your time, and don't forget Armory first, and then Art Delicious the next weekend.
That's beautiful. I needed that yesterday. The mayor was at our KRTA meeting and she abused it. All right. As chair comments, I just thank all of you for your hard work, and we are really starting to get some even faster momentum here, and I'm just excited about everything that we're doing. Again, I want to thank Jeff Rising, and if you do see him out on the streets, thank him for being such a great teammate with all of us, and wish him well. And make sure he stays coming back to those first Fridays. All right. Board member comments.
I just want to let everybody know that I brought it up at the last one, but our sister city will be visiting at First Friday. Like they're literally going to get into town around 6 o'clock. Michelle and I have talked. We're going to try to put some put it up on the digital banners like welcome. But I just think it would be really cool. We know that it might be a little overwhelming, especially because it is bike night. But I just think, it would be really great if everybody is there to, like welcome them and just, be on the lookout. There are only 4 coming this trip. And the reason why it's a smaller contingency is because they are actually not supposed to come next year, but they are insistent they are bringing a huge group next year for our bicentennial. And that's not even their year. They're usually supposed to come, but they really want to be here for our bicentennial. So it is a smaller group this time. It's only 4, but you will see them out and about, especially on First Friday. We're going to bring them straight here when we get them here. Jim Berryman and myself are going to, bring them here to First Friday and walk around with them. So just be on the lookout also. We try to give them little goodie bags when they get here for like, just, things that they may use while they're here, they may not. So if you have a business that you would like to donate to their goodie bag, it's usually just like in a regular, like small little handle bag. It's nothing huge, but if you would love to contribute to that, we would love that. We will give them some gifts for the sister city to take back that are rather large. We have an artist that is doing a painting for them, some things like that. But we're just talking about for the 4 that are visiting, just to give them a little like kind of welcome bag. And it could be, soaps, little snack foods. It can be really anything. It can be things that they take back with them. They do the same for us. So we really want to extend that. They are extremely gracious hosts and go well above and beyond. And so we want to make sure and extend that same sentiment towards them when they come as well. Their mayor is in the group. This is a very unusual thing that their mayor is coming. So it's a very big deal. They're actually bringing their PR person with them because the mayor is coming. He's also a translator, so that helps. But it is a very big deal that the mayor is coming. I asked Jim Berryman, he can't even remember the last time a mayor came. I know the last time they came here, the vice mayor came, and that was even a big deal. I met Mayor Morinaka. He's young, he's very vibrant, very outgoing. He does speak quite a bit of English. I met him. He had just become mayor when I was there in Japan last year, and really fun and really excited. And he said, I'm coming to Adrian, I'm coming, and he's coming. So it's very exciting. But just wanted to put that little plug out there for both First Friday and for anything. Just contact me if you have anything you'd like to put in the goodie bag. The other thing that I just want to say is, yes, promote to get a bicycle shop here. From somebody that just biked across the state of Michigan.
That was awesome.
We needed a bike shop. Several times. We had bike mechanical issues. And we not only found bike shops that we could get to from our trail, we found them open till 6 o'clock on a Saturday. We found one open on a Sunday, which is, we were very scared because we had bike mechanical issues on weird times and weird days. But there were bike shops within distance. I will tell you, we told both bike shops, hey, ever thought about Adrian? So when you're out and about, if you go somewhere, plug it, whatever it might be. We were at a brewery and we're like, hey, ever thought about Adrian? Like, we were literally promoting Adrian in all these towns as we stayed the night and went to these establishments. We were like, hey, you looking to expand? What about Adrian? We've got a brewery ready to, that you can hop right into. And so, that's what we all need to just be out there really plugging. But yeah, really plug that bike shop. We need one here.
Was it the breweries that caused the mechanical issues?
No, it was not. Nice try.
Any other board comments? All right, thank you all. Let's move on to McKenna and Jane Dixon. You have the stage.
Thank you all. I'm going to start with a quick update on the feedback we've received thus far. I know at your last meeting included in your packet was the survey summary, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But I think we had a really great response level with almost 450 responses. And I wouldn't say there were huge surprises. People want dining options. People want more retail, businesses to stay open later. Things that we have all discussed and you are well aware of, but just to reiterate those items, that those are obviously coming from the public as well. We've gotten through most of the one-on-one interviews. We have a couple left that are scheduled for later this week. We've spoken with the Lenawee Chamber, the Lenawee Community Foundation, Kapnick Insurance, and then Siena Heights University. Really great conversations, bringing up a lot of different angles. I think some novel things that came up was the tie to kind of the rural aspect of Lenawee County and maybe highlighting some like agritourism or opportunities to do farm to table dining, which was something that I hadn't heard in previous conversations or in the survey responses. In addition, we also talked a lot about housing and supporting housing opportunities in downtown, and then strengthening partnerships with the business community in Adrian that maybe are outside of the downtown district. So just creating those partnerships so that we can broaden the funding opportunities, broadening the support that the DDA receives. But overall have been really great conversations thus far. Once we get through all of those conversations, I'll have like a summary of kind of the broader takeaways from those as well. We are still working on creating the downtown or the development area citizens council. We have 3 members who are willing to serve. If you have any other members, please send them our way. I know we're still
We need 9. We got 3. So, and if you know anybody in the downtown, we just need a body. It's not like it's hard work or anything. They're not going to be tasked. But if you know anybody that lives downtown that can be on this committee, please give us a name.
Were the list that I provided, were any of them contacted or used?
Yeah, so I think the 3 that we heard from, I believe were on that list.
I might be able to get you more.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
So that was a really high level of success there, but so thank you for that. Yes, we're still working to try and get the full board, but hopefully be able to move forward with that soon. And just so everyone knows, it's like Dusty mentioned, it's not a big commitment. It's going to be 2 meetings, and the formal level of engagement is fairly low. So trying to also accommodate everyone's schedules, which can be somewhat challenging, but we'll hopefully make it as easy as possible for people. So for today's meeting, I really wanted to go over some draft goals and objectives of based off of the comments that we received from you at the beginning of this process, from the past strategic plans, goals, as well as what we heard from the survey and the interviews. I've gone through and made some revisions. Those are in your packet. Yeah, towards the back of your packet, it has a number 2 within my own little memo on the bottom of the page. So I think what I took away from your input at the June meeting as well was really making places, kind of placemaking being one of the biggest items for downtown Adrian. So utilizing the DDA resources to build and enhance the character and charm of downtown, and within that, objectives to help development assistance and advance programs and partnerships that foster redevelopment of underperforming sites or adaptive reuse of structures, and strategic upgrades within the downtown and this, surrounding kind of immediate areas where we're trying to create some of those connections into the neighborhoods. I think you're already doing a lot of these things, but it seems that that's really a huge goal and objective. Again, a lot of these things have overlap with other goals and things that you're already achieving. Streetscape improvements is the second objective, updating, reimagining, and investing in the streetscape, building on the success you've already had there. And then natural features, continue to pursue the downtown scenic riverfront. I know that's moving forward, as well as innovative development opportunities in public space, which again is moving forward in the downtown area as well. And we talk a lot about Comstock Park when we did our walking tour and other conversations we've had. And then enhancing the facilities, the public spaces, the farmers market, the trail, the park, and outdoor recreation opportunities. The outdoor recreation opportunities was something that came up specifically with the conversations with Sienna Heights and trying to attract maybe more students. And what the input was, that's something that really would bring students into downtown. That's something they look for. And it's not something that's necessarily scheduled like a first Friday, but if they have a couple of hours, if they have an opportunity to kayak or something of that nature, that seemed to be something that the downtown could promote. So I just want to get your feedback on what, these goals. So I'm going to go through them one by one. So that was kind of the first one, and look for anything that you might have to add or change. Okay.
Anybody have any additions to that, or does it sound precise enough? All right.
So that moves into goal number 2, which is promoting community and continuing to promote downtown Adrian as a destination for fun and culture in Lenawee County and the surrounding region, making it, it is a cultural destination. And we heard a lot about the arts community. I think bolstering these things that already exist, the theater. And so the number 1 objective for that is amenities and culture, ensure that the public infrastructure and utilities support community growth through both the park system, as well as additional resources, potentially stage, shelters, bathrooms, and foster a growing spirit of Adrian's cultural presence through the support of the arts and creation of public space. Objective number 2, public programming, continue to strive to provide innovative public events that attract visitors to downtown all year round. And then the outdoor recreation is number 3, support the growth and development of downtown Adrian as a regional destination for year-round recreation activities. So, and then once we get to the project list, these all tie into the objectives, but that's the overall goals. Anything that you feel like might need to be added, is missing? Great. Goal number 3, connecting organizations. Work with public and private institutions in and around downtown to build community connections and ensure a sustainable economy. There were multiple goals from the last strategic plan to partner with the city. So this kind of encompasses that. So really making sure to continue to bolster the technical assistance, continue to provide the businesses and community members with the marketing resources, all of the things that you do in the business community, and to help them retain both their employees, but also patrons. Supporting collaboration, continue to support and encourage working partnerships between the cities, departments, and any committees, organizations within the DDA. That's going to be looking at the licensing, you know, all of those support things that we identified in the last strategic partnership or the last strategic plan for that partnership. And then broadening partnerships, strengthening partnership with the local college, university, school districts, and connect with the young adults, bring them into the district with events and opportunities. And then enhancing the partnerships, which I guess is a little bit redundant, but continuing to support and search for new public and private partnerships to build community connections and support project implementation.
I would just say for that one, we've really tried to expand town and gown with more members, not just colleges and universities, but our local schools, K through 12, and seeing events like the Welcome Back Bash downtown. A lot of things our committee has talked about is making this the first event of the year, but making sure that we're trying to find repeat opportunities for students to keep coming back.
Yeah, I heard food festivals is the way to bring them into downtown. Thank you for that feedback. Any other feedback on this one? All right, so goal number 4 will be fostering business. So fostering strategic redevelopment partnerships with transparent development process, business assistance programs, and strategic acquisitions. Again, the business assistance, providing resources and guidance to businesses on how best to interact with the public realm. So this is the facade, the outdoor dining, to ensure consistency, equity, and uniformity in the district. Retaining and attracting businesses, so retraining existing businesses and attracting new operations like the bike shop that complement the existing commercial offerings. And then marketing and promoting the whole district. So continuing to develop and deploy economic development, marketing, and regional outreach strategies to cite and grow entrepreneurial vision. Great. And then goal number 5 is enhancing circulation. So strengthen all forms of access to and from and within the district, within the downtown area. So we talked a lot about, you know, providing safe, efficient, and convenient traffic movement for both pedestrians, but also focusing on parking. So the access for vehicles, and minimizing kind of the vehicular and pedestrian conflicts. So that's number 1. Number 2, encouraging pedestrians, strengthening pedestrian connections by providing accessible pathways and pedestrian amenities. So continuing to think about shade, wayfinding, signage, bike racks, and then expanding transit options, encouraging alternative transportation options, especially microtransit and ride sharing, which was something that came out of our workshop in June, I know.
So I just saw the LPTA. I think it's our rideshare program, like the new vehicles. They look so nice. I mean, honestly, it's a huge improvement in just looking for that transportation option to get people around downtown, and connecting it from these different, especially, I mean, for me, thinking about the college students, I think that's going to be awesome if we can continue to improve that.
Yeah. Great. So this leads into our preliminary draft project list. So we've tied each project to one of those objectives and kind of put it under the goals. It's, you know, an imperfect science in terms of there's a lot of overlap in between categories, but it is a long list. I might not read it word for word, but I'm going to kind of go over some of the major projects that we're kind of including in the plan. So The Riverfront Vision Plan is obviously underway, so including that under the development assistance, which will help bring, high quality development and housing as well as improvements to the riverfront. I think one of the things that is a real big focus for this plan is the facade improvements potentially, which is kind of already underway, but something we continuously heard in the survey and in the interviews was, if we can just bring the level of the streetscape up in terms of the building frontage, then everything kind of will come from that. And so creating kind of a facade improvement program, if it's a grant, it could be as little as $15,000, some sort of support system to help these buildings kind of be brought up to a higher quality. You have beautiful buildings, so let's enhance them. Elimination of blight, I know this is ongoing, and just effective code enforcement and strict application of the state's non-conformance standards can help with that. Property acquisition, we've talked a little bit about, property acquisitions already underway. So one of the things that came up was potentially the Ford dealership, and there might be other opportunities, but including these in the project list will allow you to have the flexibility to do those things in the next 30 years. And then focusing on the housing supply and encouraging the opportunities for housing diversity, and also encouraging the conversion of second-story space and new apartments and condos, because those were really desired. And we know that that's something that we have a market for. This is for streetscape improvements, continued the public art, murals, electrical box paintings, other installations, general beautification. I know that you guys have done a great job with that, with the seasonal plantings. I remember the yarn balls were mentioned, and just a lot of that creativity around the seasonal decorations in downtown and continuing to enhance that along with the landscaping. One thing we heard a lot about was additional trash receptacles, and then lighting, especially in the alleyways and parking areas. Something that was brought up, and this is, I guess I'm floating out to the board, pedestrian festival streets. This came out of the interview process more so, explore creating a pedestrian street in the district, or potentially seasonal shutdown of some of the downtown streets. And so that's, I think, something that maybe we haven't discussed as a group, and if there's feedback from you all, that would be important.
That's it.
Go ahead.
Oh, it is happening in Ann Arbor, as you know, and it happens in so many cities that I've visited, and it will come with heartburn if we do such a thing, because there will be people that feel that that's not correct. I do think as we talk about a 30-year vision, 5-year vision, 10-year vision, this has to be in it. I think it's an idea that really has been working in other communities. So
I will share that multiple times throughout the year, we go to Grand Haven. And Grand Haven started closing one of their main streets during COVID. And it was very receptive during COVID. After COVID, there was some pushback until this recent year where there was so much demand to close that street. Now their restaurants are fully into the street. They have live entertainment on that section of the street. There's yard games. There's all kinds of activity that takes place there. So if you ever go to Grand Haven, it's right by the Kilroy House, and just go in there and check it out. Or Kirby House, sorry. It's a phenomenal public place that's expanded with considerable pushback, but now it's become a demand of the public in that area. So.
Yeah, I think you have a perfect opportunity for it. And I think like you mentioned, you see the pushback everywhere. Northville had a big public pushback against it. But ultimately they closed the street, and it's a huge success. So sometimes the naysayers, I guess, don't win. Thinking more towards the natural features, Comstock Park, and just making sure that, anything that can be enhanced, kind of thinking about them distinctly as different facilities within the park, and then determining future improvements, and that can be a partnership with the city, obviously. And then the riverbank enhancements with the riverfront vision plan will be really exciting as well. For facility enhancements, the wayfinding signage, this is something we talked about, welcome signs kind of at the entry point to the district, as well as directional signage and signs indicating public parking locations. My hope for one of the results of this plan is a really effective parking map for you guys to use as a forward-facing item. Whether it's something that goes on a sign, I'm not sure, but at least something that can be handed out and really you have a lot of parking at this point. I don't think the parking demand is an issue. It might be in the future, which is something we talk about next, but
I'm sorry, what was that? Could you repeat that?
but highlighting how, the distances from the parking areas are very feasible.
Sorry, the signs that we put up for Croswell parking on our show weekends are totally effective, and they're just little tiny art signs.
Yeah, see them.
I mean, people just don't know what to do or where to go.
Yeah.
And those little, they're so cheap, and it just points people in a direction.
It's a great point.
Yeah. So in the future, more towards that 30-year vision, thinking about the development of a potential parking structure, if that demand, increases and the need is there. And then with that parking structure, one of the recommendations is thinking just about the location as well as the facade and making sure it is cohesive with the rest of the district. And then general maintenance items that I know you all are keeping up with, but are good things so that we can allocate money for those items in the future. For the amenities objective, we talk about the farmers market, continuing to support the farmers market with, I think, additional improvements, plantings, seasonal decor, etc. And then the potential for winterization of the market was something that may be looking at as more of a phase 2 or 3 item. The Maiden Lane project, I think we all are very familiar with, so I'm not going to go through it, but as it continues to be developed and as this plan is renewing kind of into the future, we'll continue on to support that. The downtown dog park, potentially creating, an area for dogs in the district. And then I know that the downtown playground is really important. So you'll see that's phase 1 and the dog park is phase 2. So we're prioritizing that playground.
Kids over dogs.
And then talking about the agritourism and thinking about kind of Adrian's ties to the rural agriculture and how do we capitalize on some of the farm to table experiences, whether it's a First Friday or some special event that you could close the street down specifically for that. I've seen that be really successful. People are driving like 3.5 hours to go have dinner on a farm, and it's right here. So let's, capitalize on that, especially I think as I'd always want to hesitate before I project fads into the future, but I do think it's something that is probably going to stay at least a level of interest for a subsect of the population. And then really identifying as an arts destination and continuing to support the arts and culture in the community, which also leads into broadening the event types and coordinating the partnerships for those events, and also thinking about the river recreation I mentioned previously. And then within connecting organizations, partnering with the city, streamlining permitting processes, making sure there are regular communication opportunities. Obviously, the city is at your meetings and you have those regular touch points. But really letting the DDA function as that gateway or, helpful hand to anything that might be overwhelming. As someone who works in the government right now, it can be really daunting for people who are unfamiliar. Supporting collaboration, continuing with the community's organizations, conservation, tourism, the community. and really focusing on the cohesiveness. I think this was what we heard from the business owners from the survey responses, is thinking about the DDA as an organization that unifies the owners and operators of the businesses in the downtown area, and just making sure to increase the communication and also include residents in that. And then broadening the partnerships with colleges and universities. We had a really great conversation with the president of Siena Heights, and he offered up kind of this idea of a pilot program for an incubator. I'm sure you all have talked about this previously, but really capitalizing on the student population, bringing them in as a resource and a capacity increaser for the businesses in the downtown district. And then continuing to strengthen the regional partnerships with the organizations in Lenawee County. For fostering businesses, we're going to hopefully create some guidelines for outdoor dining and make sure that code enforcement is assessing, what if things meet those requirements, and also supporting the businesses in thinking about how their seating areas work within the public space, and providing additional seating areas for visitors to enjoy outdoor dining. I think I was thinking of Grand Haven specifically when I wrote this, because they have, in addition to the restaurants using that space, they also just have open space that you can sit at and get a sandwich to go and go and play some cornhole. So I think that's a really good opportunity as well. I know you all know the business hours thing because we keep talking about it, you keep hearing about it, but just really looking at how we can help encourage the businesses to stay open more consistently with each other. And that goes along with strengthening connection and creating recruitment processes, creating a mentorship for new businesses with businesses that are existing or DDA members, and then maybe a welcome packet or a welcome onboarding process for new businesses as well. And the business diversity, we're, trying to encourage more of those dining experiences, the retail experiences that the market studies says you can support, that the survey says people want in the community. It's one of those tricky items, but I appreciate, the grassroots effort. You go into these other communities, you try to get them to franchise in Adrian. So it can be a variety of things. And then the enhancing circulation, we talked about Winter Street, the connection outside the district, making sure that crossings are a little bit easier, working with the city to create safer crossings, and thinking about bike infrastructure as well, and bringing, bikers into the community with a bike store or bike racks, or just the different, I will go out of my way for a bike repair station. Like, I will walk like 6 blocks, and I got to one the other day and it didn't have any of the items left in it. And I was like, I just walked 6 blocks to try and repair my bike. But I think that's something that can be a really big opportunity.
Can I ask a quick question? Have you
Yes.
seen on trails or cities where this is a really big priority to have some outdoor stations, like, or just?
Oh, yeah.
some-
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've even seen businesses incorporate them into, like, if they have a big outdoor space, they put in a outdoor bike mechanic.
Yeah.
It's nothing like crazy, but
But it
pump
stuff.
and yeah.
Some Allen wrenches.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
There's one outside Rebike if you're interested
Yeah.
in seeing what they look like, and they have all their tools on cords.
Yeah.
So people can't swipe them.
And our trail does have a few, but they're not close to Adrian yet, but they're talking about it already. Cause I was at a trail meeting yesterday. So they are talking about that, because they just put one in at the end of the trail where it ends in Tecumseh. So there are some along the way, but
Put one at St. John's Church.
St. John's, yep.
Right.
So
Nice.
they're talking about that too.
Not like that, water stations and a few other things.
Yeah.
talking about. So.
And if you can bring people, oh, well, I have to walk into town with my bike because I got a flat anyway. And then, they might get some ice cream or a beer. So. Oh, I didn't want to cut anyone off. And then again, thinking about the street design, just to make sure that the traffic is slowed. I don't think that's a huge problem now, but as time goes on and you start bringing more people into the district, just making sure that we're continuing to keep streets kind of with relatively slow traffic and create encouraging environment for pedestrians. And then clear access to sidewalks is something we've talked about. That's kind of a code enforcement issue. And then a snow removal plan. And that's always a battle in Michigan, but creating those pedestrian access in winter months. And then the micro transit and the ride sharing items as well.
As part of the encourage pedestrians, I know one complaint we've heard is, since we do have a bike lane, but a lot of people don't take it. They still bike on the sidewalks and they've almost hit pedestrians. Maybe it even is more signage about not
Staying
biking
off,
on the
yeah.
sidewalk, because I do know that has been a problem.
And even skateboarders, rollerbladers, keeping them off of the sidewalks. Yeah. So I would really love to welcome your feedback. If there are items anything that we've missed, anything that needs to be shifted, added, there will be another draft presented, a complete draft, but this is, the meat and potatoes of the plan, so.
I think those micro transit and ride sharing, it's just so important. I mean, if we had Uber and Lyft even that was more prevalent, or the ability to partner with companies that could again help us with rentals for bikes or scooters, that would be really attractive.
Jane, I want to thank you for putting all this together and really, getting a good process for it, and the board especially sharing your ideas, getting it here to us, and so that we can move forward. The guidance and direction is very important for me. It's easy for me to execute the list. It's not always easy to come up with the path. So your input is well appreciated.
As I expected, when we first hired you, we were going after something boring like a TIF document. But it has evolved into giving us really what we call Main Street transformational strategies. And each of them are very clear and identified and allows us to measure where we're going with each of these. So I've got to thank you. This really is encapsulating, and I know you still have a few more interviews to do. So maybe our next draft will even have a few more things on it. And again, if any of you think of it and don't want to say it now, or you want to give an email, shoot it to me or shoot it to Jane, and maybe it becomes part of the document. All right. Thank you, Jane.
Yes, yes, please, if you have any ideas, send them my way. And we want a clear path of what success looks like. So thanks for being such a dynamic board. And I look forward to seeing you guys in September.
Excellent. Thank you, Jane.
I think Nikki has some of the tattoos that I got, so she'll pass them out to everybody.
All right. With that, I just want to remind everybody of the upcoming meeting events, Student Welcome Back Bash on August 27th. Be here.
6 to 8.
6 to 8.
Yep.
6 to 8. And I think we got an email talking about how they're each going to get like $10 for food in some of our downtown.
Yeah, we're gonna do 2 $5 vouchers so they can spend them at different businesses or all the same, but we've got a lot of good participation. It's honestly going to be the best one ever.
Perfect. September 1st, Friday, get ready for the bikes downtown. I can't wait to hear the thundering motors against these downtown buildings. It's going to be fun. And then finally, downtown next meeting will be September 11th. With that, we are adjourned.
Hey, Sheila, real
So
quick.
I'm supposed to put one of these on my arm.